Has a wonderful story to ask you to turn off your cell phones, and I'm just going to put it out there point blank. Where's mine? I better make sure it's off. Yeah, it's not with me. Okay, off with the cell phones. Beginning to create our sacred space together. We'd like to welcome everybody here. Fancy, I moved your bag over here, but it could be there if you want to. Because we removed the first row.
Oh, did you?
No, we removed the first row already, so it's okay. So, by way of announcements, we've got several wonderful things happening that we want you to know about. Next Sunday, from one of our members here, Annalisa, I don't see her here yet, she usually comes a little bit later on. She introduced me to these people that have lived in India for many, many years. The man's name is Ganga and the woman Cara. And they have gotten to know many of the sannyasis and spiritual leaders over there in India, and they've made a movie about their adventures with these different spiritual leaders, especially this one young man who's very popular now in India. He has long hair and he's very Christ figure-like, and so they have this movie that they want to show. They show it for free for a donation to help with their travel expenses and to make it like a contribution to the spiritual group that's hosting them. So they're doing this next Sunday night, not tonight, but a week from tonight, October 27th at the Headwaters at 7 p.m. The Headwaters is over across from the Unitarian Church. It's a really nice little building that holds for about 50 people, and it's a good space to meet in. It's inexpensive for us to rent, so it's at the Headwaters next Sunday evening, and it's going to be wonderful. I've just seen glimpses of it, and it's amazing to get to be in India like that with these people that have lived there for a long time. Then, today at 4 p.m. here, I'm co-hosting with Reverend Ruth this, it's not exactly a memorial service, but it's a community gathering, grief gathering, to talk about the death, the murder of Tony De La Pena. Is that how you say his name? He was a wonderful presence in this community. He was in the Peace Choir. He came to Unity off and on. He has been in all different present in all different spiritual communities here. He's really a big part of the Baha'i, of the Unitarians. He's a large man that always wore long garments like that, real handsome and beautiful, beautiful person. And he was killed on Gay Pride weekend. And he's gay. So we're wondering, just wondering. Nobody has gotten word yet exactly what happened, but we want to come together as a community and be together around it and comfort one another. And Reverend Ruth has a beautiful ceremony planned. And so I invite you to come at 4 o'clock. It's sort of an important thing for our community to come together and be supportive in all of the different faith traditions to this wonderful man and to our community around this. 4 o'clock today. And then on October 24th, which is Thursday evening, I'm beginning my next Journey to Completion group. And so if there's still a couple spaces, so if you know anybody who wants to join, make sure they get in touch with me before Thursday. It's a group in which men and women can come, and it's a time of really deepening into getting to know one another in a tribal way in our community here. So many of you have done it, and it's what makes our community have a real sense of deep connection with one another. So I invite you to consider it. And then David is visiting with us today, and David, you wanted to say something about your friendship with animals and the pictures that you have, that you're going to have in the back.
Thank you. Yeah, I've brought some beautiful images that have come from, well, I listen in my life all the time, and I get messages to go here and there, and I've had all these meetings with these different animals and birds, spent many years with dolphins, and then hummingbirds.
Be with those wonderful images afterwards and with David. So, let's settle in now and create our sacred space. Oh, I didn't welcome. Sorry. I'm not used to doing this part of the service, so What we do in the beginning here is welcome everybody, of course. We're so glad to have friends, old and new, here. But we just wonder about if there's anybody here for the first time. Is anybody here for the very first time? You are? Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Dawn.
Dawn. We're so glad you're here, Dawn. And are you from Ashland or
From Minnesota.
from Minnesota? Are you visiting or?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm doing spiritual work here, so I'm
good.
moving here and there and doing what he's doing. Following spirit and being guided.
Great. Well, we're glad that you got guided into this little cove this morning. Anybody else here for the very first time? Anybody here for the second time? Community of friends. Today I'm talking about friendship, so I'm highlighting that word. And we're going to begin with a wonderful song, and we're so happy to have Cerise with us today, who's a friend of ours from the Havara community. And about once a month or so, she comes and joins us and leads the music here. So it's wonderful to have that friendship with the Havara community through Cerise. So she's going to get us enlivened and feeling into our bodily presence here with this great song.
Yeah.
So, thinking on the topic of sacred friendship, what it is, what it gives us, how it nurtures us, how we nurture as friends. I'm so full of it right now because I'm coming down from the Howard Prairie Lake after a couple days with two dear friends who I also sing and play music with. And having a small one, this is maybe, my second time away and just immersed in child-free women friendship space. So I feel it in my kishkas, as they say. And we got to see some incredible creatures. We got visited by a family of bears prowling across the shore of the lake, and then saw an eagle hunting, and got all these great nature friend visits for our friend visit, and so it feels good. And this song that we're going to start with this morning is a song that I'm sure you all know, and I love it so much. And if any of you have ever heard of the movement that's happening now called Playing for Change, have you heard of this? Heather, you know probably about this. It's a group of street musicians and people that witnessed the holy energy that street musicians were bringing into the world, and went around the world and had street musicians take this song and sing it. And then they created a composite video with little clips of each country's street musician doing a little piece of this song. And it just really touched my heart to see the common thread that is in this whole entire world of people just taking their music to the streets to offer it in love and friendship and to remind us of our connection. So if you would you please stand up and just take a second and feel your body and say good morning to it. Yeah. I'm going to sit, but don't mind me. I'm standing in spirit right by you. So please sing along. Put your arm around the knee that you're standing by. Give them a big smile. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. You know the song. Say
standing up there by one another. I'd love for you to feel into not just the ones here, but ones who aren't here too, ones who have been your friends, your deep soul friends in life. And I'd like to dedicate this service to our friends. And this morning before I came here, I got a letter from my mom. She writes to me on email once in a while, and I wrote a note back to her. And I want to use this note that I wrote to her to also draw forth the feelings in your heart about perhaps your mom or your daughters or your close people, your good friends. So I wrote to my mom and I said, Mom, I miss you so much too. I think of you a lot every day. My life is so busy with meeting people's needs, and I'm so grateful to be of use to Spirit in that way. And Nisha being here, I'm so thankful that she is with me in my extra moments. But I do feel a little sad that I don't take more time with you more often. You'd not believe how much my inner thoughts go to you. I'm always talking to you in my mind and heart. I guess that's what a true friend is, always so present in the heart. There's no real separation by miles or time, is there? You're so close to me in my innermost being. Thanks for teaching me at a young age about having a deep friendship with the divine inside of me. That has sustained me through everything that life has brought. So thanks to you, I've known a real personification of love that's always with me. You've always tried to meet me in the deep places of my soul, and I know I've challenged you too to find and express your truest truths. So know that as I speak this week in Celtic spirituality in the Anam, Cara, the soul friend, I draw my inspiration from you, my dearest, longest, deepest soul friend. Thank you for giving me birth and loving me into being my best and truest self. Hope we can talk soon. Love you. So your deep soul friends, maybe ones that you don't see all that often, we call them here right now, knowing that we are connected, that time and space cannot separate us. And we dedicate this service to our deepening of our friendships in our life. So let's just take a moment of silence right now and just feel the gathering in of our friends. In Great Spirit, our beloved, our innermost friend, we welcome you here right now. We acknowledge that we come here to feel closer to you, that we are with you all the time, and you're never not a part of what's going on in our lives, but when we come here into our community of spiritual friends, somehow it heightens our awareness of your presence. So right now, as we breathe together, we feel you sweeping in amongst us. We welcome you, beloved spirit friend. Come and minister to each heart today. May the needs be met, the bodies healed, the minds brought into peace by your beloved forever presence with us. Thank you. Amen. I don't watch much TV nowadays, but when I started to think about friendship, I came across this article that says that the TV shows Seinfeld, I Love Lucy, Cheers, and Friends all have one thing in common. They're all listed in TV Guide's 50 most popular shows ever. Seinfeld, you know that one. It's a sitcom about a group of friends living in New York City who navigate the meaninglessness of life together. The subplot is who they do or do not have sex with. I Love Lucy is an old sitcom about two couples who are friends trying to survive Desi's stardom and Lucy's craziness. And the subplot is nothing about sex. And Cheers is another sitcom about friends, and these friends meet in a bar and deal with life from there. Subplot is who they do or do not have sex with except Norm. Okay. And Friends is a sitcom about a group of friends, go figure, who do or do not have sex with each other. Why are shows about friendships on the all-time most popular list? In part, I think it's because they portray something that we all yearn for, these life-on-life communities. And now TV series have gone into these reality shows where it's showing supposedly real life and real life. But so often they don't, in the reality shows, they don't really come through to much real friendship. So these shows depict people in relationships, and there's so much talk that goes on about relationships, but in a way it's as if friendship is kind of a lost art. In the TV shows, they're trying to portray friendships, but lots of times they don't really go very, very deep. The friendships can be kind of like about what can you get from another person. And I think a lot of friendships in our fast-paced society end up being about that, like I'm going to get to know this person because I can get that and achieve this career goal or something, you know. But researchers estimate that 60 million Americans struggle with chronic loneliness. It says Americans reporting a healthy circle of 4 or 5 friends has plunged from 33% to under 15% between 1985 and 2004. I think we're lucky here in Ashland because I think that might not be the case. I think we might be the statistic breaker here because it seems to be a community of really deep friends. At least I get to experience that. But loneliness is not only a matter of how many friends one has. As a professor of psychology at the University of Rochester claims, some of the most profound loneliness can happen when other people are present. Lonely people can just as often be surrounded by others. It's been said in recent years that friendship is getting to be more of a lost art as the internet progresses. So that's debatable. Do Facebook friends make you have more friends, deeper friends? I'm not judging it because I think there are a lot of good things about it, but on the other hand, I think it does make us question what really is friendship and how do we cultivate it. It seems that most of us are yearning for something that a 12th century monk called spiritual friendships. I think the longing is as old as humans on planet Earth are. For example, creation story. In the Hebrew scriptures, you know, Adam and Eve said that a human was created and that the gods looked upon him and said, it is not good for him to be alone. We must create a helpmate, a soulmate. And I like how it says we want to create someone like us. So there's some togetherness in the very nature of God. Ancient traditions show us about deep friendships, not just of the romantic nature, but friendships. Like in the Hebrew scriptures, Ruth and Naomi, you know the story, both of their husbands died, and then they found one another, and they committed to be with one another and help one another the rest of their lives. And David and Jonathan are another story of deep friendship from the Bible. So we often say, when we look at sacred texts, that there is a friendship in spirit toward us in this world, that God is loving us. We say that in unity. God is love. It's our first principle. But I'd like to suggest today that we start to imagine, if we started to use the word friendship in place of love, start to think about that the God of this universe equals friendship. So in our meditations and our journeys today, we're going to explore the Celtic spiritual tradition because John O'Donohue has brought forth this whole concept of the Anam, Cara, or the soul friend. So we're going to be looking into ways that he so beautifully, poetically talks about friendship in that book, Anam, Cara. I'd like to guide you now into a meditation that will just help us to settle down into a sense of our connectedness with Spirit as our friend and with this moment of friendship in our lives. So as you settle into your inner landscape, look around inside of yourself and just notice which parts of yourself might still be flitting about, maybe running to get here, or buzzing in your mind, or a little bit busy. And for just a moment, witness them, and then invite them. Invite them to come present here, all the parts of you. Notice any feelings that might be pulling on you still. Just witness all of this, and as you breathe deeply, let all the activities that were going on before you came to this moment fall away, and refocus your attention. Return now to the quietness within, the place where you come to befriend yourself. Make yourself comfortable here. Soak up the peace and calm that's here when you finally do become quiet. And in this place, you can begin to settle down into your own true nature. And as we settle into our own true natures, we think of the beauty of nature that's all around us all the time, but the exquisite colors that are out there right now. The beautiful leaves. And we remember that we are here in friendship with all that is, with nature all around us. So give yourself permission right now to settle in to your own naturalness. Reside in your body as easily and comfortably as the animals do. Imagine yourself stretching out on the lawn, under the trees, in the beautiful sunshine. Reclaim your naturalness and your friendship with nature, your love of nature. Like the rivers that flow and the sun that shines and the air you breathe, all life springs from the earth. Feel yourself part of all of it. Your own naturalness is a friendliness with the earth. In this moment, in your imagination, just let yourself commune with the earth and feel the substance of which you are made, the clay of the earth. It's a part of you. Remember that the earth is always supporting your body and providing sustenance for your bodily needs. Oh, the earth, our friend, the earth. And let yourself commune through your breath with the air right now, and breathe. Breathe in the air that's always continuously there, opening us and clearing us and giving us life. The ruah, the breath, our friend, the air. Let yourself commune with the fire of the sun, the gift of warmth. Your body is always warm, warmed by the sun. Appreciate the sun's penetrating heat, which warms the whole earth and the sky, and how precious our friendship with the sun is. The sun. And let yourself commune with the water that cleanses all that it touches and brings out the color of everything. Water, fluid, it dances everywhere and moves around everything. Feel yourself solid, warm, open, and moving all the time. Feel yourself earth, air, fire, and water. Harmonizing. Life is always cleansing and clearing itself. As you relax, your energy flows. Witness every cell of which you are composed, teeming with resilience. Feel yourself in this moment becoming increasingly comfortable with your body, befriending your body, relaxing into your own precious, precious human body. Your body that is a whole universe in itself with many parts and many beings in it. You are the God, if you will, of this little universe of your body. It revitalizes itself and heals itself all on its own accord. All you need to do is relax and your body takes care of itself quite naturally. Feel that and be so thankful for the friendship of your body right now. As you relax, well-being happens as naturally as water flowing down to the ocean. As you relax, well-being happens as naturally as the leaves turning toward the sun and then falling in their time to the earth. As naturally as birds soaring through the air. Relax into your naturalness. Be comforted by your own true nature. You are part of nature. The harmonizing forces of life itself continuously caress you. Caress you. Feel them healing you all the time. Trust nature. Trust your nature. Feel your whole self right now harmonizing with nature. Our friend. Our true friend. And with a deep heart, enter this space with gratitude for friendship. Cerise has another wonderful, familiar song. It is the song that comes from the story of the friendship of Ruth and Naomi. because they consider each encounter with another human as a possible sacred event. So when you come upon a person, they say you should greet them by acknowledging their sacredness with a blessing. They say, Dia is muer duit. I don't know if I'm saying it right in Irish, but you know what it means? God and Mary be with you. Dia is muer duit. Dia, God, is muer, Mary, duit, be with you. The divine is present in the encounter with the other, and it's shown in the Irish saying, the hand of the stranger may be the hand of God. So every encounter has the potential of bringing a particular gift and illumination. It might be a new friend. So John O'Donohue, who wrote the book, Anam, Cara, said that for years he had this idea for a short story about a world where you would only get to approach, to encounter, maybe in the whole course of your life, one other person. One person who would be your soul friend. So you'd have to practice for years and years to prepare for the mystery of this encounter with the other. And then you would begin to gradually and slowly approach. And in the course of your life, as you got to approach this one person, you can imagine how exciting it would be and how sacred you would hold that encounter. And you would actually be so interested and curious about who this other was. Friend. A friend is more than an acquaintance. Friend is a deeper and more sacred connection. A phrase from Shakespeare says it well, the friends thou hast, and their attention tried, grapple them to your soul with hoops of steel. So our friends and our encounters are incredibly valuable. John O'Donohue says, soul friendship comes along to awaken your life in order to be free to the wild possibilities within you. To be free to the wild possibilities within you. So think about a friend of yours right now. Think about a friend of yours and think about how they came along to awaken you to the wild possibilities within you. Think back over your life and think about a friend or some friends who did, who challenged you and awakened you. Brings smiles and laughs to us. Maybe later after the service, if you feel like it, you can tell one another a story of your friendship. Real friendship isn't manufactured by will or retrieved by sheer intention. This is John O'Donohue talking to us. He says it's always an act of recognition. In the moment when two souls recognize each other, it could be like a chance meeting on the street, or maybe you're introduced by another friend at a party, or you meet somebody at a lecture. It's just a simple moment, and yet suddenly there's a recognition, and the embers of kinship glow. There's an awakening between you, a sense of ancient knowing. Love opens the door of this ancient recognition, and you enter it, and you feel that you've come home, even in that brief encounter. Euripides, the Greek philosopher, said, 2 friends, 1 soul. A true friend helps us to come out of the loneliness of our exile home to the house of belonging. In soul friendship, each recognizes the other as the place where their heart can feel comfortable, feel at home, and feel like you have a sense of belonging. When 2 souls recognize one another, says John O'Donohue, another thing is also going on there. There's a third force between them. You know what I mean? A third force. When a friendship comes upon rocky times or is in trouble, it's always good to remember that there's something greater that's holding you in this friendship. This presence and power of the ancient affinity that drew you together in the first place is always there. In the circle of belonging, there's an ancient force around us. In the circle of belonging, there's an ancient force around us that wills us to come together. It calls us, and it takes care of us. and it heals us in one another's presence. John O'Donohue was a former Catholic priest, and so he comes to us from the Christian tradition, and so he says that in the Christian concept of the Trinity, we see the most sublime articulation of otherness and intimacy, an eternal interflow of intimacy, an eternal interflow of intimacy. Jesus said, "Behold, I call you friends." Jesus the Christ in this way represents the first other in the universe. He is the prism of all difference. In this sense, he could be experienced as the secret friend of the soul of every individual. Now, you might not know about Jesus or think about him or believe in him, but this is John O'Donohue speaking, And he had a friendship with the Christed One, he says. He says he entered the tender beauty and affection of the Trinity. In the embrace of this eternal friendship, he said, he could dare to be free. He could even dare to leave a confinement that became too small for him of the Catholic Church and know that he was being led forth by this wild freedom of the Trinity within him. And it drew him back to his Celtic spirituality. And he says there's a beautiful Trinitarian motif running through Celtic spirituality which incorporated Christianity, but it predates it too. And there's this poem that says, "O sacred three, my fortress be, encircling me, come now and be round my hearth and my home." So he's pointing to that there was this idea of the sacred three before the Trinity Christian concept, that it's always been there, it's all over the planet. There's this sense of where two or more are gathered, so am I there in the midst of you, this sacred other. So it's precisely in awakening and exploring this rich inner landscape in which the three is present that the sense of the Anam, Cara, or the soul friend, comes forth as God's wonderful gift to us. The God of the universe is multiple. The God of the universe has friendship within it. Trinity, God being friends with God. Isn't that interesting? That that's the way the universe is, that friendship is actually in the nature of God. In my childhood, I was taught that it was possible to have a friendship with God. Were you? Did that come into your childhood at all? I don't know, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but I did find in my childhood this deeply personal communion with the sense of this other that was invisible. And sometimes as a kid, though, because children are so close to the fairy realms and are available to be betwixt and between, sometimes when I'd be outside in nature, I would see a being walking toward me and I would go, "Oh, my friend, my friend." And I can still remember what he, she looked like, because it was kind of a he, she being coming across my grandmother's lawn to me. So, friendship in nature. John O'Donohue says that we need to befriend nature, like I was talking about in this meditation that we had, that we enter deeply into communion with the elementals, the spirits of our natural world, of our Earth Mother, and that's where we truly know friendship with the divine. He says the urbanization of modern life has succeeded in exiling us from this fecund kinship with our Mother Earth. We are fashioned from the earth. We are souls in clay form. We need to remain in rhythm with our inner clay voice and longing. Yet this voice is no longer audible in the modern world. Sadly, we're not even aware of our loss, and consequently the pain of our spiritual exile is more intense because it's largely invisible. Well, one time this week, I awoke very early before it was light, and I went outside because it was a full moon, and it drew me outside around 5 a.m. And I looked up, and the moon was so bright, and the sky was such a gorgeous midnight blue, and the stars were twinkling so brightly. And it reminded me of my years in New Mexico, when I oftentimes slept outside. Because, in New Mexico, they build the houses with sleeping portals, or with roofs that are flat so that people can go and sleep on them. So many, many people sleep outside all the time. in New Mexico and Mexico, and I think probably all warm countries around the world, that people are not so separated from nature and the night sky. And so I remembered one night that I was sleeping outside in New Mexico and I was drenched with the moonlight. And somehow it connects you with the cosmos. And in that night, I had a dream, and I wasn't sure when I woke up in the morning whether it was a dream or real, but I dreamt that star beings came and were there with me and talking to me, you know. So our connection with nature, very important. It opens us up to friendship with the cosmos. John O'Donohue writes a beautiful, haunting passage about our need to connect to the days and the nights of creation in order to be a friend of creation. Here's what he says. The world rests in the night. Trees, mountains, fields, and faces are released from the prison of shape and the burden of exposure. Each thing creeps back into its own nature within the shelter of the dark. Darkness is the ancient womb. Nighttime is womb time. Our souls come out to play at night. The darkness absolves everything. The struggle for identity and making an impression falls away. We rest deeply in the night. And then the dawn is a refreshing time, a time of possibility and promise. Each day the light of the dawn unveils the mystery of the universe. Do you feel that way sometimes when you wake up? That the mystery of the universe, its eternal and ever unfolding mystery is coming forth that next morning. Look for the dawn in your life, he says. After the dark periods, the dawn moment is the ultimate surprise. It awakens us to the immense otherness of nature. When you attend to the way the dawn comes, you learn how light can coax the dark. The first fine fingers of light appear on the horizon, and ever so deftly and gradually they pull the mantle of darkness away from the world. Isn't that beautiful? Such a beautiful writer. The darkest time of night is immediately before the dawn. The darkness deepens and becomes more anonymous. But the light is so incredibly generous and oh so gentle. Quietly before you in the mystery of a new dawn, the new day comes over and over again. As Emerson said, no one suspects the days to be God's. The wildness of God is the sensuousness of God in nature, and every new day, the wildness of God calls you forth to friendship. Cerise is going to come with another song now called that I love, and I have often had it sung at friends' memorial services. And so as we sing this song, think about what I've been talking about, your friendship with nature, but then now as we move into the next part of it, in which we could be talking about your friendship with yourself and your friendship with others, this song, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, is a beckoning of you to think about, yourself, your clay body as a bridge for others, as an elemental force in others' lives, and you are.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. When times get rough,
so deeply, don't they? Oh. In everyone's life, there's a great need for an Anam Cara, soul friendship. Because in this kind of love, we are understood without mask or pretension. And that's what that song portrays, you know, I'll be there for you through anything, no matter what. Don't we long for that? The superficial and functional half-truths of social acquaintance fall away, and you can be who you truly are. This kind of love allows a deep understanding to dawn, and it's so precious. Because where we're understood, we're at home. Understanding nourishes a deep sense of belonging, says John O'Donohue. When we're understood, we feel free to release ourselves into the trust and shelter of another person's soul. When you look out at another human face, this is John O'Donohue speaking to us again, he says, he talks a lot about glancing, gazing. And you just glance or gaze into someone's eyes, whether it's a stranger or someone you know. You can become conscious for just a moment in that gaze that there's some primal inner presence there. Something more than the personality is looking out at you, and you feel that you're being looked at from the strangeness of the eternal. Infinity is gazing out at you with ancient eyes. We can't seal off the eternal. The infinity is in the microscopic, and it's in the dazzling of the whirling of the galaxies. However, the infinity that haunts every one of us, and that we cannot finally quell, is the infinity of one's own vast interiority. Thank you, John O'Donohue, for beautiful words. Your body is the home of the infinite. The body can be home to a great range of intensity of experience. The body is the angel of the soul. It's constantly tending to and minding the soul. So John O'Donohue asks us to befriend our bodies. He says that so much of religion has really sinned against the body, hasn't it? Because it's often presented the body as the source of evil or of seduction and told us to go away from the body. And he says this is utterly false and irreverent. The truth is that there's a great innocence surrounding our bodies, an incredible brightness and goodness. Our bodies are so sacred, they're actually the angels of our life. Our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. In our bodies is where we can know the friendship of God. And so for just a moment right now, I'd like you to do this little exercise with me about honoring the sacredness of our bodies. Sometimes I do it in my counseling work. It's a very simple thing, but I'd like you to know about it because it's a really powerful way to befriend our bodies. And this is what it is. I'm going to just ask you to be present to your body and close your eyes and touch into an awareness of it. And then I'm going to ask you a question over and over again. And it's a question that you can also just ask yourself sometime when you're sitting by yourself, in a quiet moment. And the question is, what are you feeling now? Very simple. But it's about a bodily sensation. It's not about a thought or an emotion. It's about a bodily sensation. So I'm asking you to go and be with your body right now. Be with your body, and right now, in this moment, what are you aware of feeling right now? What part of your body draws your attention right now? What are you feeling right now? For being aware of this particular part of your body, what are you feeling now? And tracking it. What are you feeling now? Really listening to your body. What are you feeling now? Your attention flips around to different parts of your body that draw your attention, or maybe it's staying on this one part. Whatever's happening, just be with your body for a few more moments here. What are you feeling now? 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 Our bodies have so much to say to us. They tell us deep truths. They never lie to us. Our bodies have so much to communicate to us. We just need to take the time to listen. John O'Donohue says that we have the gift of the inner wellspring in our bodies, the wellspring of love within us that has so much to communicate to us. So if you wouldn't mind, turn to a person next to you. If you're not sitting close to somebody, maybe lean over and just share for just a moment something that you got out of that tuning into your body and feeling something that your body was saying to you. Just a brief momentary sharing. What did you notice? Just even tell them what part of your body you noticed or what happened when you tuned into your body. Thank you for sharing just briefly with one another. We have to be in touch with our bodily selves and what is being spoken to us from the friend within us in order to be friends with each other, right? So the final part of what I want to draw forth from the Anam Cara book and John O'Donohue is that to be a soul friend means that we've got to take time, just like it took time right there, and we need to take more time to tune into our own bodies. It takes time to tune into one another and to really hear the long journeys that people have been on and to patiently wait as they unfold their story into the depths of their own soul. Right? Friendship takes time. John O'Donohue draws on the Buddhist concept of the Kalyana Mitra. This is, in Buddhist terms, this means the noble friend, Kalyana Mitra. One who will not accept pretension, but will gently and firmly confront you with your own blindness. So we're not talking about superficial friendship here when we talk about an Anam Cara or a Kalyana Mitra. It's someone who can see your life, maybe even in a fuller way than you do in certain moments. Because we have our blind spots, don't we? That's why we need the Trinity, if you will, or the otherness. Therefore, you must depend on the eye of your friend to see for you what you cannot see for yourself. One of the deepest longings of the human soul is to be seen. Your Anam Cara is your truest mirror to your soul. The honesty and clarity of true friendship brings out the real contour of your spirit. It's beautiful to be seen in your true complexity and your depths by your friend. The soul is deep and it echoes the divine, but we can't really even know the divine without having a friend to help us see the deeper parts of ourselves. But then, on the other hand, no one can truly hurt you as much as someone that you love. So when you think about entering into friendship, sometimes we're afraid, right? We stay isolated sometimes for reasons because we have been hurt in friendships. Life is dangerous and unpredictable. People can change suddenly and dramatically. Even after years together, the affection can drop away and your trust can be disappointed, and every friendship can travel at some time the black valley of despair. So this tests every aspect of our sense of friendship. We might lose the magicalness and the sense of attraction that we had to the other person, but is that when we end the friendship? Do we drop out then? Maybe, sometimes, but such a time is meant to call us deeper, right? And to purify our love and to allow more falsity and more neediness to fall away. When a friendship turns, the two focus on each other's points of negativity sometimes. I remember my mom had a long-term friend, who even moved down to North Carolina to live near her. But at a certain point, that friend could only focus on the negativity, and it broke my heart because my mom really loved that friend and depended on her. And sometimes this happens to you. You know, you can't quite find a way through. You don't know what to say. You become helpless, and things start to become repetitive around one another. It's as if you birth a ghost between the two of you who would devour every shred of your affection. Here you need great vigilance and care in order to redirect your soul. And where are you redirecting your soul? To your own inner depths. When something happens with another person, it's time for us to look deeper within ourselves and to try to find the shadow aspect of things that is speaking to us there, and to trust the journey inward to the darker parts. It's the only way at times to find the greater light. As I was saying earlier, it's so important that we have the sense of the light following the darkness, because love will trust that the journey, no matter where it takes you with a friend, can lead through to new ground where affection can grow again. Indeed, love is the only light that can truly read the secret and deep signature of the other person's individuality of soul. You know, because we so often judge one another and cut short the friendship. So it's so valuable to find a soul friend who will journey with you through these deconstructions of your identity, where you are no longer adequate to even love yourself sometimes, and the beauty of who you really are. That's where the Anam, Cara comes in, the soul friend. And I noticed Laura came up and sat up front here, and Laura's been my soul friend for a long, long time. And she knew me before I moved here, and I was going through a difficult time in Boston. And she just happened to have a work contract that took her there frequently. And I tell you, most of my friends at that time couldn't be around me. And Nisha, you remember that time I was the Grim Reaper, Nisha said. I was going through a really dark time, and Laura came to visit me, I don't know, several times. And I'm so glad she's here today so that I can thank her, but she was the one friend out of all my friends who was able to be there in that, you know, and who didn't judge me and didn't forsake me and didn't think, what is this spiritual leader person doing down here in the pits? Because that can be kind of a challenge sometimes to put yourself in a certain position of leadership. I'm sure many of you feel this, and then you're really down, you know. That's when we need the Anam Cara, the soul friend. And so Laura was there, and she kept saying to me, you know, I think Spirit might be calling you on to someplace else. Because I thought I was moving back to the East Coast to stay there and be there forever. She said, I sense that Spirit's calling you to Ashland. So our soul friends have a glimpse sometimes of something that we don't know. I said, Ashland? Where the heck is that? But her friendship got me all the way here into this realm of tremendous Anam Caras and soul friends. So you are Anam Caras, and I'm so happy to be here amongst you, and I just hope that today evokes in you the sense of your ability to be a friend. Remember who you are. You're such a precious, valuable being to people out there. And like Laura did for me, you may say just the right words, and even a casual way sometimes, to draw forth the person to their greater good, to their higher calling. So I end with this blessing for friendship that John O'Donohue gives us. He always is writing blessings, you know. He's written a whole book of blessings, and he says in the Irish tradition that when you meet one another, you try to give one another a blessing. So I'm going to put this on our Unity website, this blessing, because sometimes it's good to actually memorize lines from John O'Donohue's blessings so that in a right occasion you have it to say to somebody. He writes such beautiful blessings, and this is his blessing for us about friendship. He says, may you be blessed with good friends. May you learn to be a good friend to yourself. May you be able to journey to that place in yourself where there is great love, warmth, feelings, and forgiveness. May this change you May it transfigure that which is negative, distant, or cold in you. And may you be brought into the real passion, kinship, and affinity of belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, and may you be there for them. May they bring you all the blessings, challenges, truth, and light that you need for your journey. May you never be isolated. May you always be in the gentle nest of belonging with your Anam Caras. So we're going to take the offering now.